Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and what a beautiful puzzle we're getting to solve today. It's called Mean Samurai and it's by JanForty. Now, I hope I'm not revealing too much by saying that I think JanForty is the pseudonym of somebody called Jan Gazelius, and I know Jan Gazelius' name very well because I have to read it out every month, normally right at the start of the month, because Jan manages to solve all our hunts in hours, literally hours. One of the fastest solvers on Earth, without doubt, and apparently this puzzle was set in a speed setting competition on the fan Discord server in, I want to say, under an hour. Which I'm guessing is going to feel extraordinary when we try and solve it. But what I really love about this is how pretty it is. So you've probably seen Samurai Sudokus before in your newspapers. They're great lumpy things. I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest. But this is a very cute idea. 4x4 samurais, where the digits, for example, that we need to fill this 4x4 might be different from the digits that we need to fill this 4x4. And then, of course, hidden in the middle, we've got the sort of central 4x4, which is linking them all together. So it's a hugely popular puzzle. We've had it recommended to us a lot, including by some setters and solvers I really admire. So I'm sure it's going to be brilliant, and I will read you the rules in a moment or two. Before that, I want to thank all of you who joined us last night on our Teiji stream. Well, especially Matthew Vander, whose game it was. So Matthew came along to watch the stream, which is a great privilege for us. It's a brilliant game. I wholeheartedly recommend it to everyone out there. If you enjoy puzzles at all, it really is clever. And I think Matthew said in the chat last night that he programmed the whole thing himself. So I think that's fairly unusual to have a game maker who does the whole thing themselves, especially nowadays. The only thing he had help with was the music, so someone else composed the music. So it's fabulous. And Mark and I, well, we're making our way through the game. We made a bit more progress last night, and we're certainly going to be returning to it to make an effort to finish, well, at least finish more of it in the coming days. So keep an eye, if you're subscribed, and hit the bell icon, and we'll let you know when the next stream is happening. What else do I need to tell you about? There were other things. I'm trying to remember. Well, let me do the birthdays then, because I can't remember. Richard, it was your birthday yesterday. I'm really sorry that I overlooked the fact that I was meant to read it out yesterday. It was my fault entirely. But I did enjoy your PowerPoint presentation on which I think Richard's using as a teaching aid on critical thinking, and it was all about Sudoku variants. So Sudoku variants being an exemplar, well, something we can use as examples of critical thinking, I fully approve of. Very cool. Also, Max, it's your birthday. Your birthday is today. I know this. Your partner Ali described you as a super fan. I'm a big fan of super fans of Cracking the Cryptic. And I hope you have a brilliant day, Max, with lots of cake, of course. And then Spencer, it's your birthday today over there in Boston. I know this because your friend Coleman wrote to us, and he said that he misses you and he hopes that things are going well in Beantown. And I think that is Boston. My cultural knowledge of the US is not stellar, but I think it's something to do with baked beans, isn't it, in Boston? I don't know. Someone will enlighten me. But I hope it's not a too pejorative term. I don't believe it is. Now, what else can I tell you about? I've got more names of solvers who solved the whole of the Fistmafell hunt. The feedback from the Fistmafell hunt has been amazing. So many of you so proud of yourselves, rightly, for solving the whole thing. Absolutely brilliant. And then mentioning how long you struggled with the Ancient Wall, which is the final puzzle in the hunt. Fistmafell described it as his masterpiece, and with good reason. But very well done. To Brendan Keyberg, Mary Foster, Eric Brunther, Sam Noland, Sohail Bagat, I want to say Tavin, but it could be Tevin as well. Marcia or Marty Slob, could be Slob, I'm not sure. If you're in any doubt that I'm going to butcher your name, please give me some hints in your emails. Steve Gardner, Marcel Helvig, Alex Smith, I can do that one hopefully, Matthew Pearson, Paul Wright, Rob Lindsay, Carsten Beanches, maybe, Eric Sidbrandt, Joshua Rogers, Spatula Citizen, Josiah Fong, Jeff Culbertson, and Matt Scanlon. You all sent in the correct entries. Really well done. And don't forget to have a go. If you're a patron, you must have a go at the J Dyer Hunt, which is ongoing for the next 6. You've got 6 more days to enter the competition there. And I wholeheartedly commend those incredible puzzles to you. But let's have a look at Mean Samurai now and see what JanForty or Yangazelius have constructed. These are the rules. Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong place. I suddenly was thinking, hang on, it doesn't say anything about the 4x4 grids in my instructions, but that's because I'd scrolled down. So here we go. Each of the coloured areas and the centre 4x4 is a 4x4 Sudoku grid, using 4 of the digits 1 to 9. Different areas may use different digits. Now, adjacent digits along a green line must differ by at least 5. So these are normal German whispers. How does this work? Well, imagine this cell was a 1. Then this cell and this cell, because they're adjacent digits on the line, would have to be at least 5 different from 1. So this would have to be 6, 7, 8 or 9. And for reasons that hopefully some of you could see, this couldn't be a 6 in that instance. I'll leave that as an exercise to the watcher. A pink line contains a set of consecutive digits in any order. Okay, so these are pink lines. And then it says in brackets, in green, there are 2 separate lines that cross. Okay, so we're being told that that line is different from this line. So what's not happening here is that this line sort of goes up here and then turns left. I think that's fairly obvious actually, but thanks to JanForty for the clarification. So imagine this cell here was a 1, then we would know that this line, because it has to contain consecutive digits, must contain the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we can put those in any order we like. And I happened inadvertently to put them in order, but they don't have to be in order, is the point. I saw my phone flash there, which is the reason I made that deliberate mistake. Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, now what's next? Digits along an arrow sum to the digit in that arrow's circle. So let's say that was 3 and that was 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8, so that's a way an arrow could work. We've got a very short stubby arrow down there as well. And then cells separated by a black dot contain digits in a 1 to 2 ratio. So here, if this cell was a 2, this cell would either be a 4 or it would be a 1. So one way to think about a black dot is that one of the digits must be double the other. That's perhaps a simpler way of seeing it if you're not used to ratio language. And cells separated by an X contain digits that sum to 10. We've got one of those. So we have to make sure those squares sum to 10. I was just about to give you an example and realised that would clash with the black dot, so I'm not going to do that. Do have a go at the puzzle. As usual on Cracking the Cryptic, the way to play is to click the link under the video. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking and let's attack this colourful grid. I'm actually going to start there with that domino, because when I was doing the example, I was about to say that could be 3, 7, but it can't be 3, 7, because there are some digits you can never put on black dots because of the Sudoku digit restriction. So those are the digits 5, 7 and 9. So if you imagine if we try and put 7 here, what digit are we going to put here? One of these cells has to be double the other. So this is either going to be a 14 or a 3.5. Neither of those work for Sudoku. Same with 9, 4.5 or 18 don't work. Same with 5, 10 or 2.5 don't work. So this has actually got to be even digits, hasn't it? That's either going to be 2, 8 or it's going to be 4, 6. Now the weird thing about 4x4 grids is that we now know that these cells are even as well, because the moment we get these 2 cells pinpointed by Sudoku in that 2x2 box, those digits have to go there. I tell you, it's weird seeing that dark black line dividing that box, but I suppose that's what the colours are for. It's really pretty. What do we put at the top of this? At the top here, do we have to have... Let me just think about this. If that's 2.8... In fact, let's do this slowly. If that's 2.8, one of these digits has got to be a 4. And that doesn't work. Right, okay, this is not 2.8. Because if we try 2.8 here, because the 8 could only be opposite of, let's say that's the 8, it could only be opposite of 4 on its black dot. The problem there is that that becomes a 4 on this green line. And 4 on a green line, well, what's the digit that's 5 away from 4 or more? There's only one digit, which is 9. Oh, hang on. Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah, okay, it doesn't work. But yes, to complete the logic, if that's 4, that would be 9. And now what digit do we have to put on this black dot now? Well, it would have to be a 2, 4, 8 or 9. It couldn't be 4, which would be in the correct ratio. 8 and 9 are not in a doubling relationship with 2, so it doesn't work. That's quite clever, actually, and quite intricate. So this is probably not where we were meant to start, but we have found something. This is not 2.8. So this is not 2.8. We've removed the possibility of having really useful digits on our green line now, because 4 and 6 are... well, the most restricted digits on green lines, because if you put 4 on them, you know you've got to put 9 with it. If you put 6 on it, you've got to put 1 with it, because they only have one partner. One of these digits is a 3, because the only digit that can oppose a 6 on a black dot is a 3. 6 would have to go, you have to halve it, because you can't double it. But the 4 could go with 8 or 2. No. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's clever. Okay, so let's fully pencil mark the options here. So the 6 goes with the 3 for definite, which means one of these two cells is a 3. And then the other digit here, which is a 2 or an 8 opposite the 4, is going to have to go on this line. Well, what do we know about green lines? They obey the what do we call it? The oscillating polarity principle. And let's use this green line actually to demonstrate this. So the two secrets of green lines. Firstly, you can never put 5 on a green line, because if you do, the next digits are impossible. Because you need a digit that's 5 away from 5. If you go downwards, you get to 0. If you go upwards, you get to 10. They don't work. So you can't put 5 on the line, which means every cell on the green line has one of two possible states of existence. It's either lower than 5, or it's higher than 5. So let's imagine that's lower than 5. What's the nature of the next digits on the line then, if that's lower than 5? Well, actually it has to be higher than 5. It has to flip the other side of that mid-digit. And you can see that because even if this was a 1 and you added the minimum to it, you'd still get to 6 at least. So this is going to be higher than 5. That's going to be higher than 5, and then we duck down the other way for the next. So it oscillates in terms of its high or lowness. Now, let's take that and use it here. We know there's a 3 on this green line, so the other digit has got to be 8 or 9. Well, the only way that's going to work is if this is a 3-8 pair. Because if this was a 3-2 pair, there'd have to be a 2 on the line with a 3, and they wouldn't be 5 apart. So in fact, we've actually got we've got the composition now exactly of the blue box. It's made up of 4s, 6s, 3s, and 8s. So that's a 3-8 pair. Whoops! I want to go to central pencil marking. That square now. Well, if that's 3, that's 6. Oh, it's this. Oh, I see. We don't know. Okay, yeah, of course, it's just Sudoku, isn't it? That's 4, 6. That's 3, 8. That's 4, 6. Those are the same. And these, and we get a 3 and an 8 in the middle box, the middle white box. Oh, which means those are 3 and 8, of course, by Sudoku. So there's a 3 or an 8 in pink. We'll have a look at pink next then. Can we do any better than that? There's a whatever that digit is lives in yellow as well. I don't think there's a way of disambiguating this box. I might be wrong. I think we just get left with dominoes. And what's going to have to happen is that something in the white box is going to influence these digits. And then that's going to give us this digit, which is going to give us that digit, which then by the medium of the short stubby arrow, because those digits have to be the same, that's going to influence the right-hand side. So yes, okay, so that makes sense to me. We're going to have an ambiguity here until we can figure out more in the central 4x4. Right, so this is a 3 or an 8. Okay, so this green line, what are we learning here? That digit and that digit have the same polarity. Ah, right, okay. So this digit, if we ask, maybe I don't want to do colouring here actually. I was thinking, do I want to overlay extra colours on my already existing colours? I probably don't. But that digit, I'm going to use letters. This digit here, let's just ask where it goes in this box. Well, it obviously doesn't go in the same row as itself. And it can't go here because of oscillating polarity. Because if it was here, we know that alternate digits along this line have the same highness or lowness. So that digit is the same highness or lowness as this. This digit is the other side of 5 to this digit, so it's not the same as it. So that must be A. And then that's going to work. That's going to work everywhere, I think. So if that's B, where does B go in this box? Well, not in its row, not in a digit that's definitely got the opposing polarity. So that's B. Can we continue that? Let's try C there. Well, C is not A or B, so just by Sudoku we can then complete a mapping of A's, B's, C's and D's in pink. So now D and B are there. So this is we're getting into ludicrous nonsenses now, aren't we? So because we've got sort of two elements of unknownliness in this domino. We don't know whether this is 3 or 8, and we don't know which of these is B or D. So we know B and D are the same polarity. That's quite interesting, actually. So whichever of 3 or 8 goes into this cell, let's imagine that was a 3. This cell would have to have the same polarity because B and D have the same polarity. So if that was 3, that would be 1, 2 or 4. If that was 8, that would be 6, 7 or 9. I mean, I can see minor restrictions, but nothing that's going to be clever. Like C, for example, cannot be one of those 4, 6 digits, because if that was 4, you'd have to have 2 9s here. But I think all that's doing is taking the sort of middle band of entropy out of C. It couldn't be 4, 5 or 6, so it could be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 or 9, which is distinctly underwhelming. So that's a worry. Well, not really a worry, but in terms of... I've not thought about this box at all. Let's have a think about this box. This is perhaps the busiest box, isn't it? It's got the most clues in it. And we know that digits don't repeat on pink lines. So this pink line here is a set of consecutive digits, a set of 4 consecutive digits. That is the set of digits we're meant to use to complete the green digits. So that immediately makes me think that this arrow is troubling, isn't it? How high could that really be? So what I'm thinking is, imagine that was 9. Well, how on earth are you going to make those two sum to 9, given that if this is 9, we know that the set of digits that are completing the green box are going to be 9, 8, 7 and 6, because they must be consecutive with 9. That's simply going to be impossible. My instinct is this is a very low number. There's no way it can be 8 or 7. 6. If we made it 624, no, that doesn't work. 624 requires, because we need consecutive digits, we need a 3 and a 5 as well to make 6, 2 and 4 part of a consecutive sequence, and that's going to put 5 digits in the box. If this is 5, you could put 2, 3 on the arrow with a 4 as the other digit, so that digit would be a 4. So one possibility is that this is 2, 3, 4, 5. Another possibility is that this is 3, 1, 2, and that's a 4. So we could do it with, we could do it with 4, 1, 3, 2 as well. Right, so, okay. So, alright, well that's quite interesting. We definitely know that the green box has to have the digits 2, 3 and 4 in it. But the other digit is either going to be 1 or 5, depending upon logic. But I don't know which yet, because I haven't worked out. Maybe I've got to pencil mark this box then. Let's try that. So if this is 5, in order to make sure everything's consecutive, that must be a 2, 3 pair, and that must be a 4. If this is 4, this must be a 1, 3 pair, and then to keep everything consecutive, that must be a 2. And if this is 3, this must be a 1, 2 pair, and then because I've got 1 then on the Renban, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 again. So this is always 2 or 4. So that's always even. Okay. Right, okay, that digit is a 1, 2 or a 3. Because where does that digit here, where does this digit go in that box? Well, it can't repeat on its arrow. So if this digit went there, that would imply this is a 0 by mathematics, because we would be saying that this is the sum of those two digits. So that digit goes there on this Renban line. Okay, so now look at this. In row 1 of this grid, these two digits go up there. So they're from 1, 2 and 3. Maybe I have got to go back to my those two digits are the same. I don't know which way round these go, do I? Can I do any better than that? That digit, okay, let's label that digit. That digit now must go here. So this digit is a 3, 4 or a 5. Let me go back to numbers and put that in. So that digit can't be a 6. So that digit has to be 2, 3, 4. Can that be 5? If that's 5, no, that can't be 5, because if it was 5, it would have to go in one of those two digits by Sudoku, and they're from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is 2, 3, or 4. Oh no, okay, I'm gonna change tack now. I'm gonna look at this box and ask where A goes in this box. Now A is on this line here, so it can't repeat there. So that's got to be A, which is beautiful, actually. I really like that, because what that's allowed me to do, out of absolutely nowhere, is label which one of these is A now. By Sudoku, it's got to be this one. So those two digits are now the same. Let's give those the C moniker. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so now where does C go in that box? And it can't repeat on its Renban, so it's not there, and it's not in the same column as itself. So that digit is the C digit, which is a 1, 2, or a 3. Let's go back to numbers again. So now, looking at this digit, well, I want to say in this row, that digit's got to go here, because we know that that's B. So that, in effect, that's D, isn't it? And D hasn't made an appearance in the bottom row. So that's D, and it's 2 or 4. This line has now got 2 very low digits on it. Oh, but this is a BD pair. A BD pair. It's looking very pryingly at us. At least one of these digits is a 4. There's definitely a 4 in that domino, but that's across a box, so I'm not really prepared to pencil mark that. Well, no, actually, maybe I do that differently then. There's definitely a 4, right, yeah. Because I know there's a 4 in this box, because the sequence is either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4, 5, and these squares are not 4, there is definitely a 4, look. We're getting into mad levels of pencil marking for me here. There's definitely a 4 in the middle box, which means there's definitely a 4 in that domino, because 3 and 8 are different numbers to 4. There is a knowledge bomb for you. Okay, so now, oh, I see. So 8, because 8 is not in the green box, 8 must be in one of those two squares, in row 1 of the middle box. Okay. Is that helpful? 4 must be in one of those two cells by Sudoku. I'd love to know if this is a 3. In fact, if that's a 3, what's it going to do? It's going to give us a 1, 2 pair here, a 3 here, a 4 here, 3, 4 here. That would become a 4. This becomes a 1, 2 pair. That becomes a 1, 2 pair. How would that ever get disambiguated? Oh, I see, via this cell, perhaps. Oh, that 3, 4, that would be a 2. Yes, okay, I think it does get disambiguated. Okay, and that would be using uniqueness anyway, so I won't do that. It's actually remarkable, isn't it, that this sparsity of clues can yield this depth of sort of logic. How on earth do you set something like this quickly? It's just ridiculous. The power of some people's brains is ridiculous. Right. I know there's an 8 in one of those two cells by Sudoku now. I'm not seeing it. I don't see how I can get more pencil marks in here. Okay. Let's turn our attention to the last opportunity for greatness in the yellow box. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to look at this. How on earth do you do this? There is nothing here. I don't know even whether 8 or 4 are in there. I know there are two high totals that are different. Oh, no. Better. Okay, let's not be dumb. That cell. Where does that cell go in this box? Well, it can't go on its arrow or in its circle, because that would imply this is a 0 by mathematics. So that cell goes there, which means that these two cells are the same number. I'm going to use my A again. Those are the same. Now, if they're the same, what's this? And the answer is even. It can be expressed algebraically as 2 times A. So that is 2, 4, 6, or 8. Not 9, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And then that's going in the corner. 2, 4, 6, or 8. I will definitely label that up as well. Finding these A, B, C's and D's a little bit helpful. Oh dear. Right, so that's the same as that now. Again, I think we have to do Sudoku. Where does that digit go in box 2 of yellow? It doesn't go in these two cells, and it can't go on its own arrow. So it sits in the corner. So that becomes a B. Let me go back to numbers, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So that means this square is a 2, 4, 6, or 8 B digit by Sudoku. A, okay, what's the possible sizes of A now? Given that we know B is even, we know A is relatively small, don't we? It's got to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, because we're either going double 1 equals 2, double 2 equals 4, double 3 equals 6, or double 4 equals 8. So A, I don't think we can. Well, how do we do this then? Sorry. I don't think I can use the fact that one of those is an 8 to eliminate 8 from here. If this was 8, I could eliminate it from being B. But I don't think it's legitimate to do that just because one of those two is B. Okay. So this box is really tricky, actually. What's it going to be? How do I can see A is in one of those two squares. I'd love to know it was here, but I don't think that I do know that it's there. These squares, which are the green squares, are quite low numbers. So those digits there are only selectable from 2, 3, 4, and 5 by Sudoku. So there is a 2, 3, 4, or a 5 in the corner. But that could be A, couldn't it? Or it could be that digit. We don't know which. Wow. Okay. That digit, is that under some sort of pressure that I can't see? I think the problem is, again, that digit could be A, or it could be there, but there's nothing to stop it being A. That, oh, I suppose, right, hang on, that digit has to go there, doesn't it? Those two digits are the same. So that at least gets me I can place C now. So I'm going to say this one's C because I've got an A and a B. So, and obviously C is in the same box as A and B, so it is different. So that digit goes there. So C is over here. Now could this be C? That would be really powerful if that was the case, because C would be a very low number then. That would put a lot of pressure on this digit. But I don't see why. I don't see why C couldn't be there. There were a lot of words in that sentence that sounded like they could have just been letters. I don't see why. This digit could be C, could it? Anyway, if it could be C, it could be a big number. It probably is a big number. Wow. I mean... I don't know how to do this. B... C. No, I've got nothing. I'm afraid. Okay, so we have to now work out, is there a box in this puzzle? Is there a box in this puzzle that I've underused? Because that would seem to be the implication, wouldn't it? I'm guessing it's this one. I am saying that without a lot of confidence, but okay, I can. Right, it's funny how when you come back to something, you can see it straight away. That digit now can't be a 4 because it has to go in one of those two squares. So that digit's a 2 or a 3, which means that digit's not a 5 anymore. Oh, well, that's I don't believe it. I'm really sorry. Okay, so that's so strange. So just it's like a crossword clue that you're sort of turning over in your mind. You go away and have your lunch, and then you come back and we can just see the answer. Look what's happened now. So this little Remban, once you take 4 out of that cell, because this cell has to live in one of those two cells in this box, that can't be 5, and now that box seems to be only made up of digits that are lower than... Oh, not only that. Wow. Not only does it not have 5 in it, which tells us that the composition of digits in this 4x4 is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can get rid of 5 here. But also, where does the 1 go in that box? There's only one place for it. That's 1. So 1 is A, which gets me my first digits in the puzzle, out of absolutely nowhere. So now C is 2 or 3. That's not 1 anymore. Oh, look, this Remban's got a 1 on it. So it's 1, 2, 3, which makes this a 4. Beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. We're off to the races again. Can we do better than that? If that's a 4, that's a 3. And that would be a 2. If this is a 3, that's a 2, and that's a 4. No, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this. I'm sure there's a... Right, so there's no 5 down here anymore, because these two digits have to be the same as those two digits. Really don't think that that's going to be... I don't think that's going to make enough of a difference. I'm sure that we must be able to do slightly more in this box, and that's slightly more. If I know what these two digits actually are, and I know what those two digits actually are, I don't see how to do it though. That's really weird. So does it matter now that this can't be a 5? Has that somehow changed the calculus of the yellow cells? I would very much doubt it. Oh, I see. Oh, that's beautiful. This is really clever, actually. This is much, much cleverer than it has any right to be, being so small. It doesn't seem like it could have this depth of logic in it. But look, this digit is low. Now, where does that digit go in that box? And the answer, I don't know exactly, but it's definitely in the BD pair. But I worked out earlier that those have the same polarity. So if 3 and 4 is in one of the 3 or 4 is in one of those two cells, I know that neither of these cells could be an 8, because 8 is on the other side of 5. It has the opposite polarity to 3 and 4, which means that digit is a 3, that digit is an 8, that digit is an 8, and all of a sudden, well, I know that that digit is now low, so that's 1, 2, or 4. And I know that we're looking at B's and D's, so these digits now are the low digits. Do I get rid of my B's and D's? I think I can. I think I can. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One of them is definitely a 3. A's and C's are the other side, so there's 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s. But what can we get rid of here? We know that that can't be 6. And that's the digit that lives in the corner by Sudoku. That can't be 4, because again, that's going to cause double 9 there. And that's the digit that lives up here. I want to use the 8 to rule itself out of here, but I don't think that's legitimate, is it? One of the digits in the bottom row is a 3. So that, right, so one of those is a 3, so that digit is not a 7, because 7 can only be next to 1 and 2 on the whisper line, because we need digits that are 5 away. So that's become 8 or 9 now. Oh yeah, okay, this is amazing. Honestly, this is amazing. I don't know how you set this at speed. I don't know how you set it at all, but it's got so much beautiful stuff in it. Those two digits, we know, transposed to those two digits from the work that we did earlier. And therefore, where does that digit go in this box? It can't go there. And we know it appears in this domino. I don't know which one of these it is yet, but it's in one of them. So that's got to be a 3. Which takes 3 off. Yeah, okay, so that digit now, if we think about the digits that we've got in this box, we know that 2 of them are low polarity, 2 of them are high polarity. There must be a low polarity digit on a 2-cell whisper line, because there's going to be one of each polarity. So that digit must go here. And that's got, so these are both high polarity, which I could have seen from this column. I don't know why I was making a big fuss about that. That's just ineptitude on my part. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I use this 8? Don't know. I've got a horrible feeling about this. I've got a horrible feeling that this is not doing... it's not doing enough. And I actually haven't taken the solve forward very much, even with that new logic. So if that's 4, that would be 9. And that would be 3. Yeah, and that would be 8, and that would be 9, and that would be okay. If that's 3, that could be 8 or 9. I want to put 4 in here, just because it would force so much on these whispers lines. It would force 4, 9 here. That would be 8, because we'd need a 3 on the whisper line. Yeah, if I can get that to be 4, which I could if that was a 4. Ah, here's an interesting point that I had not appreciated. This column now almost tells us the makeup of the middle box, because we've got a 3 and 8 and 2 low digits. Which doesn't tell us what this digit is. It tells us it's either a low digit, which is a 1, 2. It's not 4 because 4 has to be here. So it's either 1, 2, 3 or it's 8. Which I'm sure is important. For the following reason. Come on, brain, think of the reason. That digit is 1, 2 or 4 as well, because it's not 3 or 8, so it's got to be low. These digits have to include 4, and they're made up of 1s, 2s or 4s. So that digit is 1, 2 or 3. Which is nearly interesting. Wow, okay. So I'm still a bit stuck, I think. B goes here. Oh, I see. Ah, no, okay. I'm going to come back to this box now. Because I've now learnt that that cell, because those two digits are the same, that digit must be that digit, which is now that's a new pencil mark. That's 1, 2, 3 or 8. C. Oh yeah, and I don't know, do I, which is A down here? This is tricky. Okay. I would love C. Oh, well, okay. All right. So I can actually limit C now, because C is in one of those two cells. That cell is 1, 2, 3, 4 or 8. Because in effect what we're saying is that C is in the white 4x4 in the middle, because it's got to appear in those two cells. And we know that the white 4x4 in the middle is just made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 8. So that square, well, that can't be a 1 or a, I was about to say or a 2, but it can't be a 2 because we're adding two different numbers together. So it's 3, 4 or 8. This is huge. If this is 3, 4 or 8, that digit must now be a bit restricted. It's got to not only, this is probably 8, isn't it? Well, I tell you what it's not. That digit is not 4. Because if that digit is 4, how do I make this line add up, given that's even? I can't do it. That would have to be double 2, which won't work. So that's not 4. So now we're down to 3 or 8, which is, it's so close now. So if that's 3, that's 1. That's absolutely forced. And that would be 2. If that's 8... Oh, so this is never 8 now. Because that can't be 9. Aha! There we go. So this digit is now not 8 either, because we know that line of B's is all the B's. Now, that can't be 4 now. Because then, if this is 4, that has to be -1 or another 4 to add it to 8. So all of the 4's come out of this. So now we're down to 2's and 6's, which means this digit's really restricted. So this digit now is either, if this is 3, this is 1. If this is 8, oh no. It's got 2 options, 2 or 6. Bobbins. But, oh no, well, it's not 6. Because if it's 6, because of Sudoku, it has to live in those cells, which apparently can't have a 6 in them. So that is 1 or 2 now, which, it's really close, this. It's really close now. So 3. Sorry, I just bashed the microphone, which I didn't mean to do. This must unscramble itself somehow. How? Gosh, I've had 50 minutes on 5 4x4 puzzles. Oh no. Come on. Let me think about this. So if this is 3, this is 1, this is 2. B then turns into 2s everywhere. Those turn into 1s everywhere. Ah, okay, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Right, let me show you this. If that's 3, I'm going to claim that because this is even, this has to be the 1. But that seems to make B a 2. Now if B is a 2, that's got to be a double 1 arrow. And now I can't put 1 in this box, I don't think. Because 1 would get shunted into that cell, which apparently doesn't have the ability to be a 1. I have no idea why. Why has that cell not got 1 as an option? Do I have any clue about that? Oh no, that's fair enough, because this cell is one of those 2 cells, and they can't be 1 because of the 1 in green. Good grief! I mean, this is so complicated in a good way, not in a sort of whoa crazy way, but in a really beautiful way. So now I've got 8 here. So 8 that was C, wasn't it? Yes, it's that digit. So that's 8. So now that's 8. It's the only place it can go, and that's going to do everything, is it? Well, it's going to do everything to this bottom box. This is going to finish now. 4, 4, 6, 6, 4, 8 on the black dot, 3 on the black dot, 3 and 8 on the whisper, 4 and 6. Blue is finished. That digit goes there by Sudoku. Well, there's only one way that can work, and that's if we get 2s. So that's a 6, which is the B digit. So 6 goes in. That must be double 3. So this top box is made up of 2, 3, 6 and 8, which means that's a 3, that's a 3. This is an 8 in the corner, no song for that, and that's a 2. So now, what does that mean? That's not 2, that's not 2, that's not 2. Oh, look. 2 by Sudoku is in green there. So that gets me a 3 here, which gets me a 4. 2, 3, 4 on the arrow to make it add up. 3, 2, 2, 3. This, I think it's actually just collapsing. Yeah, that's a 4 by Sudoku. So that's a 4 by Sudoku. Yeah, this column tells us the nature. The nature of the internal box is that it's 2, 3, 4, 8, and that's a 3. That's a 3. That's a 2. This has not got 1 in it anymore. In fact, the 4. Oh, look. The 4 is shunted into pink, and once 4 is in pink, look, where does 4 go on the green line at the bottom? It can't go here because that would cause double 9. So 4 goes in the corner, making this a 9, that a 4, that a 9. I want to say that's got to be 8 because I can see that's a 3, and that's going to force 8 here because we need digits that are 5 away. And I think it's just finished. We have done the puzzle. That is as clever a thing as you will see. That's 9, that's 8, that's oh, I nearly got that wrong. That's 8. I think that's it. That's just quite brilliant. Yes. It's quite brilliant, isn't it? Mean Samurai. It was quite mean. It was mean in terms of the stinginess of the given clues. But the thing that's absolutely brilliant about this is the way that you have to use the tiny little bits of information that emerge from doing some work in the coloured grids into the dominoes in the middle grid. And that was absolutely crucial, like learning that this had to have the 2 digits of the same parity and then working out that this digit had to be low polarity, and then I suddenly knew those two digits had to be, both on the low side. I mean, it was things like that was just, it was so clever. And then I can't even remember, even though I just did it, how I managed to whittle this box away. But you could do it just by thinking about what had to go in here. Yeah, so you sort of had to. We had to pinpoint that the middle white 4x4 was only selectable from 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 8s, and that actually allowed us to, work back out into the coloured grids and gain enough traction to solve the puzzle. That was stunning. JanForty, Young Gazelius, absolutely stunning, loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And now I've got a StarCraft video to make, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.